In the sterile, humming cabin of a first-class flight sat a man named Arthur. To the world, he was a titan of industry, a CEO whose name was synonymous with success. His suit was worth more than a car, his watch a down payment on a house. Yet, beneath the polished exterior, Arthur was a fortress of solitude, his heart a landscape of perpetual gray. He stared out the window, but the breathtaking canvas of clouds and sun meant nothing to him. The joy had been wrung out of his life, replaced by the relentless pressure of quarterly reports and shareholder meetings. He was rich, powerful, and profoundly empty. Just as he was sinking deeper into his usual melancholy, a tiny voice sliced through the silence. "Excuse me, mister, why are you so sad?" Arthur turned. Standing in the aisle was a little girl, maybe 6 or 7 years old, her bright, curious eyes fixed on him. She clutched a well-loved teddy bear, its button eyes mirroring her own innocent gaze. The question was so direct, so pure, it caught him completely off guard. For a moment he was speechless. No one had asked him that in years. People asked for his time, his money, his opinion, but never about his feelings. A short, dry laugh escaped his lips. It was a foreign sound. "Sad? I'm not sad, little one. I'm just thinking." The girl tilted her head. "My mommy says when your face looks all scrunchy like that, it means your heart is crying. Is your heart crying?" Her words were like a key turning a lock that had been rusted shut for decades. "My bear Barnaby gives me hugs when my heart cries. Do you want a hug from Barnaby?" She held out the worn teddy bear, an offering of simple, unadulterated kindness. Arthur looked from the bear to the girl's expectant face. In that moment, the high-stakes deals, the billion-dollar mergers, all of it faded into insignificance. He saw a glimmer of a life he'd forgotten, a world where a hug from a teddy bear could fix a crying heart. He reached out and gently took the bear. It was soft, a little lopsided, and smelled faintly of cookies and childhood. He held it to his chest, and a strange warmth spread through him. The laugh from before returned, but this time it was different. It was fragile, shaky, and on its heels came something else. A single tear traced a path down his cheek, then another and another. He, Arthur Vance, the unshakable CEO, was crying in first class, clutching a stuffed bear. He wasn't crying from sadness, not exactly. He was crying from the sheer, overwhelming impact of this tiny girl's compassion. She hadn't seen a CEO. She'd seen a sad man, and offered the only comfort she knew. Her name was Lily, and her mother, watching from a few rows back with a gentle smile, let the moment unfold. Lily didn't seem surprised by his tears. She just nodded wisely. "See? Barnaby always helps." She patted his hand. "You don't have to be sad anymore." For the rest of the flight, Arthur and Lily talked. She told him about her school, her lost tooth, and the adventures of Barnaby the bear. She drew him a picture of a smiling sun and a man who looked suspiciously like him, holding a balloon. She didn't ask what he did for a living or how much money he had. She just shared her world with him. In her simple stories and crayon drawings, Arthur found more value than in any stock certificate he'd ever owned. He was rediscovering the forgotten language of joy, of connection, of being simply human. When the plane landed, Arthur felt a pang of reluctance. He didn't want this to end. He walked with Lily and her mother to the baggage claim. Before they parted ways, he knelt down to Lily's level. "Thank you," he said, his voice thick with emotion. "You and Barnaby. You helped my heart stop crying today." He handed her his business card, on the back of which he'd written, "For the best consultant I've ever met." He told her mother, "If Lily ever needs anything, a college fund, a trip to see the world's biggest teddy bear, anything at all, you call me. It's the least I can do." Lily's mother was taken aback, but saw the genuine gratitude in his eyes. Lily, however, just gave him a big hug. "Bye-bye, Mr. Sad No More," she chirped, before taking her mother's hand and disappearing into the crowd. Arthur watched them go, a real genuine smile spreading across his face. He still had his empire to run, but something fundamental had shifted. The world looked brighter. The air felt lighter. He was still a CEO, but he was no longer just a man in a suit staring at a gray world. That day, Arthur learned a lesson no business school could ever teach. He learned that the greatest wealth isn't found in a bank account, but in a moment of human connection. He learned that sometimes the most profound wisdom comes from the smallest of messengers. And he learned that even the most hardened heart can be healed by a simple question and the offer of a teddy bear's hug. The little girl on the plane didn't just ask why he was sad. She showed him how to be happy again. And that was a transaction more valuable than any deal he had ever made. Thank you so much for watching. If this story touched your heart, please consider liking this video and subscribing to the channel for more content that reminds us of the good in the world. See you next time.